What's going on, YouTube? Earth Power here with CVH.
How's it going, everybody?
And we're back with another match. Sorry for the late posting here. Obviously, schedules, we're still trying to figure this
It's all
whole thing
Carl's
out.
fault.
And yeah, absolutely. So, with that in mind, we are back for the final match in, I guess, the first half of the top 16 bracket. Light, Water, Dark, Hydro, Hurricane up against Water, Nature, Pincer, Scarab, a deck that battled through geez, what did it play? Jungle and Light Fire Nature Jungle and
Your
Light
guess
Fire
is
Rush, I think.
that sounds
Yeah,
yeah, that sounds pretty
I think
correct because I
yeah,
remember missing my one drop
yeah,
against it.
that was that was our Octagon match in the Jungle match. But yeah, no, Pincer Scare making it through the play-in. And getting pitted up against Light Water Dark Hydro Hurricane. I gotta say, I was feeling good. Water Nature Pincer, I feel like it has the tempo to take on all these Hydro Hurricane blockers. Hydro Hurricane being the deck that's built to face aggros. You know, I felt good going into the match. I'm having some high hopes on this Water Nature Pincer deck.
Yeah, and I always like getting behind Hydro Hurricane. It was a deck that I considered for the latest IDC. I didn't wind up going with it, but I really enjoy playing Hydro Hurricane. And if you missed any of these deck profiles, the Hydro Hurricane one was posted earlier this week, and the Pincer Scarab version, or Pincer Scarab for this bracket tournament, was posted in the play-in several weeks ago, but they're all up on the channel. You can check them out. Should we jump on in?
Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. The winner of this match will go on to face Darkfire Nature Mikey's Pliers, the dark horse, if you will, of this tournament right now, continuing to go on a run of water fire from season two proportions.
Yeah, we've had
Battling it out of the plan.
some weird questionable decks make a top 8 so far with the Mikey's Pliers and the
Yeah,
5 Civ Control.
yeah.
I don't think either
Both
of these
playing decks that
decks.
weren't gatekeepers.
Yeah, I don't think either of these decks are remotely as dubious, but I guess if you had to pick one, Water Nature Pincer Scarab is a little bit more off meta than Hydro Hurricane, but
Yeah,
still a
and
tried
that's the
and
thing.
true tested aggro deck.
So this deck came to us again, another IDC deck that CVH and I got a little high on Pincer Scarab prior to season one, and we really couldn't find a deck that could utilize the card in the way that I think we wanted it to. We ended up putting it in the light dark nature mid range deck that had the techno totems and the Petrovas as just a 4-drop like big body that just had good mid range synergy. And that deck never felt great, right? So season two, I don't know that Pincer Scarab really found its way into any of the decks other than maybe the Light Fire Nature Jungle deck as a one of. And then this deck came to us during the season two run where we says like, all right, you just take fire out, add nature. Nature still has a great set of one drops. Poisonous mushroom, like you just saw me play, lets me get to lets me get to Pincer Scarab on turn three, and then you just lean on all of the bounce that water offers to keep your opponent's hand loaded, and Pincer Scarab huge.
And by came to us, we mean we shamelessly net decked the entire deck from an IDC
Yeah,
Discord channel.
absolutely, absolutely. Like shout outs to whoever whoever that was. I don't.
Yeah.
It
I
might
don't
have
want to
been
get it
Patikman. It might
wrong.
have been. I know. Right. I know there was a
Someone came up with it
discussion.
first, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. This list was something we definitely have played before. So, you're playing the defensive game, right? So, Poisonous Mushroom gets answered by Pala. I play Pincer, and then you Spiral Gate back to Pincer, and now without any Darkness mana yet, you're trying to figure out what your answer to Pincer Scarab is,
Yep.
and it looks like it's gonna potentially get through this turn at least. But you sniped the unicorn fish out of my hand, which is a really strong hit by Gigabalza there. So,
Yep. Remains to be seen if I have an actual answer next turn, but hey, Hulka Spiral Gate gets there, and you are going
yep.
to break and then double
So,
break, and
yeah.
Hydro
The
Hurricane doesn't
attack
have
order
that
looked,
many shields. What
yeah.
were you able to say?
Attack order looked a little funny there. Had to attack with Poisonous Mushroom first to put the third card in CVH's hand. That way, Pincer Scarab could double break. So that is the logic happening there.
Look good to me.
Yeah.
Someone else thinks it doesn't look
Yeah.
good. They just must not know what the cards do.
Yeah. So you get a clean answer there. I see another pincer off the top. It looks. I think the Hulkus drew me a poisonous mushroom, so that card's going to be underwhelming, but good fodder for Gigabalza. So I'll take it.
Yep. And then you draw the card that I would have rather discarded for sure. And oh look, it's
Yep.
lethal. Surprise.
Yeah.
That was a quick
Yeah, we
one.
found the
Jeez.
bounce. Yeah, found the bounce that puts you to 3 cards in hand. Shout outs to Unicorn Fish. Let Pincer go in for the double break. No triggers from CVH that game at all. Led to a pretty solid victory. And Pincer Scarab just showing up on time is it's really what
Yeah,
this deck
I
needs to battle through the defense.
there aren't a ton of triggers in Hydro Hurricane. I mean, you've got the one Spiral Gate. There's 4 Gigaballs is obviously in this version. It's just
Yeah,
too good of a darkness card. I believe it's 2 pits,
yeah,
2 awe, and I think that rounds it out. So 9. Which isn't
yeah.
like a tiny amount. Most of
But
the
it's
time you can see
also
one, but
like
yeah.
right. But as far as like heavy defensive triggers
Yeah.
for cards like Pincer, which are just huge on 4, Pit's your only answer, and 2 out of
Yeah.
40s kind of difficult.
You got to get the pit. You got to get like a wall of blockers in Petrova, maybe some tap going on. You've got to see the snare. Gate was good, and I did see one snare, but you had one too many Pincer Scarabs that game, which I think was really,
Yeah.
it's basically math problems. How many Pincer Scarabs versus how many removal options? If you have more Scarabs than I have removal, Scarab wins.
Yeah. Miraculous Snare proving why that card is just so strong in today's meta, right? Like just the 3 drop answer for cards like Pincer that just quickly answer the card, and really, when your opponent overcommits on cards like Poisonous Mushroom into Pincer, Snare is just a very easy answer that doesn't cost you a lot of energy or time.
Your hand looked very flooded with water. I mean, you drew Quixotic
Yeah,
a little bit late there. Did not
yeah.
have a
So
2.
nature's not great in my hand right now. I am holding double Pincer, and I have a Paladin, which is pretty fun. So Spiral Gate gets hit, which means I still have 2 Pincers in the Paladin, so I'm going to be able to hold on to those. I top into another Unicorn Fish, it looks like, and I don't know what the 5th card in my hand is, but yeah, missing the 2 was sad news. You have Pala, so I mean it's not necessarily the end of the world, but I wouldn't mind having a second creature on board like a pig uh, that could just swing over that Pala and maybe net some early advantage, especially if I need to get some cards in your hand to fuel up Pincer here in the next turn or two.
Yep. But on curve Pincer is obviously pretty good for you. Unlikely to have an answer for it this turn. Let's see what I come up with. Do I not play
Yeah,
mana?
three
That's kind
cards.
of strange. But hey,
Yeah, no, aggressive play by you. Not play mana.
I
Just
wonder what I'm
commit to
holding.
the snare.
It's sometimes hard to justify putting a lot of cards down, right? Like if I have like let's say Mist and Petrova or something like that, like I still need to clear Pincer this turn, but I don't want to put one of my power cards down. Or it could be a case of like a
Uh,
multi-civ.
yeah, my hand was Hulkus, Spiral Gate, Unicorn Fish, Paladin. So
Yeah.
tough call here, right? Um, ideally, I'd want to play a creature in that Spiral Gate. So it looks like Unicorn Fish is going to go down to do that. Maybe I just commit to the creature. Yeah, holding Lucky Ball. I'm trying to get to the Lucky Ball stage, which I think is the goal here.
This is a
So
pretty
my
heads up
over
play though. I mean, you're baiting me into attacking with Petrova, which is a favorable, but then you have the Paladin to punish no matter how many blockers I play.
right. So and my overall goal here is to just make it to where you have one favorable trade, and then like I said, Paladin should let me get rid of this Petrova here. So see if I actually do the right thing. And yeah, it looks
You
like
did
it.
it.
Yep, Paladin. Yeah, bounce the Pala. I'm always questioning myself, right? And I have the 1 drop to follow it up with, so still have some energy up front. Now the question becomes: do I break this shield and let Gigaballs a trade, or try to set up lethal here? I don't know why I wouldn't take the shield while
Yeah, I
it's
kind
free
of
right
like
now.
yeah, especially like one pit's already in mana there. I would say more often than not. And it looks like I have like clearly I had enough cards
Oh
in
my
hand to play a
god!
bunch of blockers, so
You want to talk about that turn though?
I dropped a bunch of
There's an
blockers.
8,000 power Skeeto, and that one Crystal Paladin that I'm running in this deck might have jumped the gun. So looks like I have Spiral and something else in hand. Um,
So here's a funny line. Do you eventually just get to a point where your winning strategy is to flood the board and then spiral gate your own paladin? Apparently not.
yeah, part of me thinks I should have just played the Mushroom there. That's a misplay. It's absolutely a misplay.
I would probably say so. I don't actually know if the spiral gate your own paladin play is serious. as like as a game winner, but I feel like it might actually be the line you take. Like you just hope for several turns that I don't have Hydro Hurricane, and then you
Yeah,
try to Spiral Gate your own Paladin as a win con. Because right now I can just play if I have another Petrova, that's basically not GG, but like boy does it get harder.
yeah, absolutely.
I do have Lost Souls, so it wouldn't have worked. Saving
Yeah,
the gate would not have worked. In
you
fact,
get
it
to
would have
wonder on
arguably been much
the
worse for you. But I still, if it were me, I'd be like, do I save the gate and then I try to have 9 mana and go for it all in one turn? Or
I
even
keep
less, right? Because you'd
finding
have another
balance.
Hulkus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd feel a lot better about this right now if Unicorn Fish had broken that last shield, but I'm wondering how much
Oh,
I'm
the
gonna regret this
turn
now looking
the
back
turn
at it.
before I
Yeah,
played the 3 blocker turn, right?
yeah.
Yeah, because like I was saying, like I had obviously enough cards in hand to play all the blockers I needed to play, so giving me an extra card was pretty risk free. I mean, you're still giving your opponent an extra card. That's never totally free, but it was about as free
Yeah,
as it was gonna be.
absolutely. I mean, three blockers, and just to continue in that train of thought, three blockers was absolutely the best play you could have had that turn,
Yep.
especially after seeing the Paladin and the fact that my deck only runs the one. Like, I was never gonna. My best case scenario the next turn was Unicorn Fish, Spiral Gate, like, and even still, like, I don't have enough creatures to swing through still. Like, Paladin's still going to break the one regardless of how many blockers I bounced that turn you did it. So you're thinking real hard on the shield trigger play here. It's got
I
to be. I
think
wonder if
it's
it's Holy All. Yeah. No, it's
skate.
Spiral.
Well, all of your,
Have
I
you
mean,
bounced?
Hardy Cap'n is very low impact, so it feels bad to bounce. I think I probably wind up going with it, but you know, part of
Yeah.
me wants to give you the expensive
Yeah.
cards, but it is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, the idea here is Lucky Ball can get over Pala, but not Giga. Hardy Cap. You can take basically free blocks here, and I can still only get through to that last shield. I can't. Like, I'm not presenting any sort of lethal here. So, like, even if you don't spiral something, I still lose two creatures to break that last shield, if that's even the move, and I don't think it is.
Well, my hand could be making it complicated, right? Because if I had like Giga, Ooze, Hurricane, which I don't because Ooze is down, like maybe there's a consideration to just not let anything. Or I don't know.
Yeah,
It's probably fine. Actually, this is
yeah.
just
And
fine.
right, because you could just play the Pala and then mana and play Hydro, still bounce three creatures and
Yeah. If I even have it.
uh,
I'm still
or
thinking about how
bounce
juicy
two
it would have been
creatures.
if like all the stars had aligned and you could gate your own paladin and evolve it onto the other Aquahulkus. God, that'd be so sick. Wouldn't that be just the
Yeah,
sickest? It would never have happened because I
yeah,
had this card, but like just
yeah.
imagining that.
If I had 8 mana here, I could do it
Oh
here.
yeah, you would just kill
So
me.
yeah, yeah. I have the Unicorn Fish, but I'm short of mana. So
That would have been such a sick way to win.
yeah,
Wait,
I opt
is
not
this
to.
correct, or do you just like play it?
Probably not.
Yeah, you just play that
Probably
mana,
not.
right?
If I'm being honest, I don't think I saw the play. Yeah, I
Okay.
show a very glared unicorn fish there. But I'm very, yeah. To be perfectly honest, I
Oh
don't
my
think I see
god.
the play.
Oh my god,
So
would it have won? Let's find out. No. It would not
nope.
have won. Damn, we were so close to such juicy plays twice.
Yeah. So that's lethal on board if you can't deal with something here. So
I have how many cards in hand? Like two, three,
two, but you have
two.
Mysterios.
Okay, I have a
There's another
blocker.
blocker.
It's
Everything's
getting
huge.
glary, and I have a pit. Okay, so the recycling the paladin play is now dead. Because a spiral gate top deck there would have killed me. Because you would have spiral gated your own paladin and killed
Yeah.
me. Which
Yeah.
you probably wouldn't have seen, and then I wouldn't have seen either, and then we would both be just like kicking ourselves here.
Pulling hair out in the booth. Yeah. No, unfortunately, and thankfully, it never mattered. But
Yeah.
yeah, that is juicy for sure.
Oh,
What a fun
here's the
way to cycle
juice.
that card.
We found the Hydro
Yeah,
Hurricane.
yeah. You guys ever seen anybody pick up their entire mana zone with zero
You're about to.
repercussion otherwise? You're bouncing all of the nature creatures that do nothing when I play them.
Yep. Well, I could bounce like the more expensive ones too. It really wouldn't matter because like you're 4 turns
Yeah,
away from Lucky Ball.
yeah, and that's what you do. Yeah, you keep, and then you break the card you know that isn't a thing.
That's a
Ooh, and I
thing.
found a surfer. That's
I
fun.
have 6 blockers, so feeling pretty safe. It's not
Yeah.
really gonna be a 2-turn kill here, more than likely. I
Yeah,
don't
even
remember
if
if
I hit
Glen of
another
Wele is
surfer,
the.
I can't answer.
I think Glen of Wele is in the deck, just
I
because.
think yes, it is in this version. Yes.
Okay, so that could set up a 2-turn if I had it. I don't know if I do.
It'll also make it a lot harder for me to kick back because you would get some shields out of my shield triggers. That's
Starting
how
to
that
lose
card
track
works,
of
right?
what I'm doing. Yeah, true. Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
Second Hydro just for showmanship, I guess. And we're going in with the dudes. Still can't kill you though. The
still
most
can't.
worst BM ever. You're like, oh, my hand is as big as my deck.
Yeah,
And
and we just
that's yeah.
we call it there. We call it there. That's a heavy scoop from Water Nature Pincer, and
Yeah.
the match count 1-1. Lightwater Dark Hydro Hurricane proving just how strong that card can be when you let those blockers go unchecked.
Yeah, Hydro came down at the right time, but more than that, I just had a wall of blockers at the right time.
Yeah,
That was critical.
you had discard very timely every time too. Not that I think I ever saw me bouncing the paladin back, but I mean you and I just noticed 2 turns there where if I had had the mana, the bounce paladin could have been lethal, and then earlier if I had just been able to just send it back to my hand with that spiral gate, I could have ended up replaying it the following turn, but you had the lost soul.
Yeah. Yeah, Lost Soul was and obviously if you had, set up the paladin play, I would have immediately slammed the Lost Soul even harder.
Yeah,
Because
yeah, absolutely. And
not
of
doing
course,
so would have been deadly. But hey,
yeah,
you've got you're on the play. You've got the shroom. If you have a Scarab again this game, then things are looking good. There's Pincer Scarab for sure.
yeah.
And I
That is
imagine that if
that
you
is.
didn't have it, you would probably have played the other 2-drop.
I think so. I think that's just correct, right? Like, there's no way I played Pig without having it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. We're we're figuring it out. Does he have the snare answer? Is he going to snare it?
I think I
Show him
see it in my
snare.
hand actually. Is there 2 in the deck? I think there's
I think
2.
yeah, you're running two.
Think it's
Yep.
very strong in Hydro. I think sometimes you just get blown out by those cards otherwise. But
Yep. And now
sometimes these little blockers get
sometimes
there
I
too
just
with
have
bounce.
yeah, yeah, sometimes I just have one card in my hand and uh, Pala and Lar Giga are just going to be the impenetrable wall that's hard to get by. Do you have another snare? Oh my god, he does. And that's how you answer Pincer Scarab, ladies and gentlemen. That's
You
how
have
you
a
do it.
third Scarab though.
No, that's a sniper mosquito.
Okay, at this point it's almost like too late. It seems like it's close, but this was a
Yeah.
very strong
Uh,
start.
got 2 cards in my hand, one on one side of the field, one on the other. I think I'm sad. I think that's the general consensus here because I also just can't get you down to 3 shields. So Lucky Ball is just a dead card. I,
This is
I
very
know that card's in
interesting
my hand.
because you saw you were on the play and you saw double Pincer with Shroom. You saw double Pincer and Shroom in the top 10 cards and you're still in a very bad spot. So it's kind of like I don't know, it kind of shows the deck's relative power levels, right? Because I think you got kind of close to the best draw you could get, and I got kind of close to the best draw I could get, and my best draw is way better.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just Pincer Scarab against an aggro, or not Pincer Scarab against an aggro, but Snare against aggro deck in general, right? Like double Snare plus the 1-drop blocker, like essentially just sets you on a track of just being able to deal with anything aggro has, and especially with aggro on the play. Like that's 3 cards to my 3 cards, and after that, like turn 4, 5, 6, like that's when your deck should start taking off. That's when you're going to be able to start playing stronger cards on turn than I'll ever be able to. So, I
Why
mean,
am
you
I
you said
terrible?
it in a
Oh,
much simpler way, but yeah, power level is much higher on the light water dark Hydro Hurricane, and we're seeing that in real time.
I was a little confused why I Terra Pitted and Aqua Surfer, but Paladin is in the deck, so I felt like I might just play it safe there.
Yeah. Anything to keep you from going to 3 shields. I think you're realizing it too, that if I get you to 3 shields, Lucky Ball has a chance at putting me in the game. But that Mystery Us unchecked now for 3 turns is going to be it. I'm shuffling my hand
Yeah, I see a Hydro.
aggressively.
I feel like playing a Pela here, and I could just Hydro 5 mana and start attacking with my 2 attackers, and I think that's totally safe. This seems like overkill. I feel like Hydro is fine.
Just gonna go ahead and
'Cause-
call Guardian, make everything gigantic,
yeah,
and yeah,
but
the
it's
game's
like
gonna
completely
end.
unnecessary. I should have just Hydroed, I think, and started going in. You'd have 2 mana this turn. It is what it is.
Yeah, Gate Captain just to put something on board, but the game is very shortly going to be over once this Hydra Hurricane comes down.
This is also weirdly not a Hydro. I guess I just want to. I mean, look, it's 99% versus 100%. I guess I just want to be showy about it. I just
Yeah,
want to bounce a creature and all the mana. That's all I really
and
want.
I just keep bouncing Mysterios, and you've got, I don't know, 7 cards in deck. So yeah, there you
Yeah,
go. You
something like
play.
that.
Yeah, you're still not doing it. All right,
Yep. Well, I can't bounce
rude.
all the mana yet. I have to bounce all of the mana. Counting that, this is
That or
I
you're
didn't.
digging for it.
No, I definitely saw it in my hand. I'm
There's
almost
one in your mana
positive.
zone.
It's got to be in my hand. I think this is just slightly more bad mannered than I remembered it being. Yeah, there it is. I think that is where we landed. And the funny thing is, you have more on board than if I had hydroed all those turns ago. Because you had like no
Yeah,
creatures and I could just leave.
yeah,
I mean, I have more
yeah.
attackers, but like it doesn't actually make too much of a difference. It's now a 2-turn instead of a 3-turn. But you're at 2 mana, so like what's 1 more mana? We got to
Yeah,
the end result, and it looks cooler this way because the cards are barely fitting on the mat, and that's kind of the way I like to win with Hydro Hurricane. So there you go.
yeah. And I keep you off of lethal, which is fun.
Yeah, there you go. Those Aqua Surfers never letting me just have an easy
Oh,
win.
yeah. And the ooze died. Yeah, look at that.
Somehow it looks like
Look
you
at
scooped,
that.
but the game is still going on because your hand is
Yeah.
10,000 cards.
It's my hand is my deck. Yeah.
Oh, there's a Holy Off.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah, you let me swing into the Holio. That's
I did.
fun. Guys, that's
Well,
it. Whitewater Dark, Hydro Hurricane. Just really really showcasing. I think you said it best, right? Like that the relative power levels of the decks. There's a reason Lightwater Dark Hydro Hurricane is ranked in the top 5, and Water Nature Pincer is not even scratching at the top 10. So,
yeah, I'd
I think
say
that's a good
Pincer's
showcase
like
there. I mean, yeah,
high tier 3.
right. So, obviously a great curve. And again, game 1, game 2 showed that, right? Like my game 1 curve was amazing, but it didn't like your curve was mid. You had one snare, but not the second. So, your deck just kind of fumbled dealing with the second pincer, and we got there. Game 2, I had a terrible opening, and you had an amazing opening. And I just couldn't deal with all the blockers, and that was the game.
That said, it
And
was
then
kind of close
game
though. There was like opportunity for
yeah,
cheesiness for sure.
absolutely. Yeah, if I just realized I could bounce my own Crystal Paladin and then just played mana accordingly over the course of 2 turns, I might have might have been able to figure that one out. But we'll never. Unfortunately, we'll never know. We can go back and analyze that one for
I had
years,
discard.
but
You
unfortunately,
were
that's
screwed. I'm
just
sorry.
yeah, that's just the way. Well, I'm talking about the 2 turns prior. If I had just stopped playing
Oh,
creatures maybe and just played to go to 7 with 2 cards in hand, and then I don't know, dirtled my way
don't
into
remember.
8 mana with Unicorn Fish and Paladin. But yeah, like I said, that's it, guys. Lightwater Dark Hydro Hurricane advancing up against Darkfire Nature Mikey's Pliers. Another tempo-y mid-range, or another, what, excuse, sorry, all the wrong words. Another very aggressive deck that plays with some of those mid-range strategies like you can foresee cards like Gallic being an MVP in that matchup for Mikey's Pliers if that deck gets out of hand. Because
Yeah.
it can do a lot of the things Pincer can, right? It can get aggressive and go really wide on board, and if Hydra doesn't see its blockers, who knows? Get your predictions in now.
Yeah, Mikey's Pliers is a deck that has not lost yet on the channel, so clearly it's favored.
Doing something. It's got a good track record so far.
Yep.
Guys, leave a like, comment down below. Let us know what you think of the match, and until next time, Peach.
Peach.